If you suffer from Gerd, gastroesophageal reflux disease, heartburn, indigestion, it goes by different names, then stick around because I've got some really valuable information for you. To begin with, if I had Gerd, the last thing I would want to do would be to take an acid-reducing drug. The number one reason for that is because it has a lot of side effects. Number two reason is that it's not treating the actual cause of the problem. It's just going to make things worse over time. And some of the side effects of they're called proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, are very, very serious. Now, the extremely serious side effects, granted, are rare, and that's good, but some of the quite serious side effects are not quite so rare either. So, first of all, the problem when you have Gerd, almost without exception, is not that you're producing too much stomach acid, but that you're not producing enough stomach acid. Think about this. Gerd occurs most commonly in people who are 45 years of age or older. We're seeing it more and more commonly in younger people, but still, it's more common in older people. Now, what is it that we do more of as we age? Does our eyesight improve? Do we have more hair? Do we have more energy? Can we lift heavier weights? Can we run faster and farther? No, things decline as we age. Yet, you're expected to believe that your body, for some mysterious reason, is producing more acid, more stomach acid than it used to. It's not, it's producing less. But when I talk to people about this, they will often say, oh, no, I know I have all that acid because I feel it, it burns. Yes, you do. And there is a sequence of events that occur physiologically that cause that burning. First of all, you don't have enough acid, so the food sits longer in your stomach without being digested. Undigested food begins to rot and ferment. This generates gas and increases pressure. Then you get, because you have a low acid, you can get bacterial overgrowth. And one of the side effects of the PPIs is SIBO, or small intestine bacterial overgrowth. And that's really hard to fix, and it causes a lot of health problems. There's a valve in the top of the stomach. It's a one-way valve. It allows food and liquid to enter the stomach, but not to come out. The stomach is able to handle the acidity that it produces, the acid that it produces. The esophagus is not. That's why you get the burning when you get reflux, because stomach contents come into the esophagus and they burn because it is not designed to handle the acid. This valve, the LES, the lower esophageal sphincter, requires adequate stomach acid in order to function properly. When you don't have enough stomach acid, it's going to malfunction and it's going to allow reflux. Also, poor digestion because of insufficient stomach acid results in gastroparesis, slow emptying of the stomach contents. And also you have an extremely serious problem where partially undigested food enters the intestinal tract. All this is very, very bad for your health, not even counting the fact that the proton pump inhibitors further reduce the acid content of your stomach and further reduce your digestive capabilities, compound all these problems, and cause all their side effects as well. So what are you going to do? Well, in the natural realm of healing, we deal with causes. We work to try and restore the normal production of stomach acid. Meanwhile, we have patients take betaine HCl with pepsin and also digestive enzymes with each meal. And that gives the body what it needs, gives the stomach what it needs to properly digest your food, and you get proper emptying, you get the correct time that the food stays in your stomach instead of staying in there too long, fermenting and putrefying, and everything works better. In addition to that, there's a first aid remedy that is very healthy, it's good for your body, and it also works almost immediately, and that is plain old baking soda. Just plain old baking soda. If you've ever watched old movies from back in the 30s and the 40s, even in the 50s, and you have a busy executive who's had a rough day and asks his secretary to bring him a bicarbonate of soda, sodium bicarbonate, baking soda. That's what they use. That's what doctors used to recommend. Baking soda works very well. In addition, it's a healthy thing. Now, there's some health professionals who haven't kept up with the research, and they will tell you that because baking soda has sodium, it can cause blood pressure elevation. However, that's not true. I have read numerous studies that talked about using baking soda for different health purposes because it has a lot of health uses. And almost always, they will add toward the end of the study the statement that in the study, they observed in the subjects of the study no cases in which the blood pressure went up. And in fact, I have a study right here in front of me that was published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology, 2023, April. The title of the study is The Effect of Sodium Bicarbonate, baking soda, on Systolic Blood Pressure in Chronic Kidney Disease. There you can see it. You can look it up. Their conclusion is, our results suggest with moderate certainty that sodium bicarbonate supplementation does not adversely affect systolic blood pressure in chronic kidney disease or negatively influence antihypertensive medication requirements. In other words, it doesn't require the patients to have to take more blood pressure medication. Now, this is just one study, and I've read numerous studies. The research shows that baking soda won't cause your blood pressure to go up. In fact, it has only positive benefits, unless you take way, way, way too much. The standard dose is somewhere around a half a teaspoonful in a glass of water or half a glass of water. When I take it, I usually take about a third of a teaspoonful. I wouldn't recommend it go over 1 teaspoonful, but start with a lower dose and see how well it works. It almost immediately neutralizes hydrochloric acid in the stomach.